Today on the news and why it matters, Mike Pompeo speaks out on Iran. Also, an update on Impeachment Gate 2020. And Covington Catholic student Nick Sandman gets a settlement from CNN.
No.
Yes. No. Got a lot to get into. Starts right now. Welcome to the news and why it matters. I am Sarah Gonzalez today, joined once again by the one and only Glenn Beck himself. Right. We've got Jason Buttrell, chief researcher for the Glenn Beck program, Jason Buttrell, and also YouTube host. And he just does everything. Eric July.
I love you. I love you. I want you on my show. I become a fan of yours. I watch you and I'm like, I can't figure him out. I cannot figure him out.
But have you seen his roads rant?
Man,
his what?
His rant on roads. His libertarian. Oh, Glenn.
Wait till you see that. We got to show you.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah.
It's amazing. I just watched it this weekend for fun again. I've seen it a million times. Got a lot to get into today. First, we want to thank our sponsor, Black Rifle Coffee Company. They are a veteran-owned and operated premium small batch roast-to-order coffee company for people who love America like us. They import only the highest quality beans from around the world, and they roast their coffees after you place your order to ensure that you are actually getting the freshest coffee available. They've got a ton of different varieties. They've got whole bean and ground, and they've also got the single serve coffee rounds. You can also join Black Rifle Coffee Club. You will get your shipment received directly to your home or office for free. So what you do is you're going to choose the amount and the blends that you like, and you get it at a discount. And then you get it for free shipped to your door. So you're not trying to make the coffee at 11 o'clock at night like, oh, crap, we're out. I have to go to the store. You can go to blackriflecoffee.com/Y. Enter the discount code Y. You will get 20% off your first order. That includes Black Rifle Coffee Club. That's a huge deal because you're already getting a discount. Then you're getting 20% on top of that. You don't want to miss out on that. It is blackriflecoffee.com/Y. Enter promo code Y to get that extra 20% off. I mean, if you love coffee and you love America. That's all I'm saying. Mike Pompeo was giving a press conference today on Iran and trying to tackle President Trump's threats to attack cultural sites in Iran. He was met with a question from NBC News' Andrea Mitchell. Here's what happened.
Defense Secretary Esper has made it clear that he would not follow an order to hit a cultural site, which would be a war crime. I'm wondering whether you would also push back in your advice or in your role.
You're not really wondering, Andrea. You're not really wondering. I was unambiguous on Sunday. It is completely consistent with what the president has said. We will take every action we take will be consistent with the international rule of law, and the American people can rest assured that that's the case. Let me tell you who's done damage to the Persian culture. It's not the United States of America. It's the Ayatollah. If you want to look at who has denied religious freedom, if you want to know who has denied, the Persian culture is rich and steeped in history and intellect, and they've denied the capacity for that culture to continue. If you go back and look at the holidays around Cyrus and Nowruz, they've not permitted people to celebrate. They've not allowed people that they've killed, that Qasem Soleimani killed.
Great deflection.
They've not allowed them to go mourn their family members. The real risk to Persian culture does not come from the United States of America. That there is no mistake about that. Thank you, everybody. Have a good day.
I mean, Glenn, he's not wrong.
No, he's not wrong. He's not wrong. And I mean, this stems from the tweet from the president that says, I'm gonna bomb all your cultural sites too if we have to. And I know this is really unpopular to say, but I kind of feel like good. I'm tired of fighting people who hide out in churches. They hide out in museums. They're shooting us from churches. They're shooting us from hospitals. And we're like, no, we'll get in trouble if you'll get the bad guys in there. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it. Oh, wow. A mosque, it burnt down.
Jason, do you agree?
No.
It was kind of clear he was saying this about pre-designated targets. So like if you nail us, then we've got 52 targets, which, you know, military, whatever, and cultural sites, which is not a good thing to do. And I think that everything that Pompeo said he was right. Like the Ayatollah and the mullahs in that regime have done horrible things to their culture, which is a very old and rich culture. But that's completely true. But that kind of was a deflection away from crap. What did the boss just tweet?
Okay, yeah, I agree. Do I want? If it's against international law, we're not doing it.
Right.
However, am I the only one at the table who went? Yeah. Am I the only one at the table? Eric?
Well, no, y'all know this ain't my kind of party. Any of that is not my kind of party. It's never been. Look, I know that we are where we're at right now, and it's easy for certainly the libertarian position to sit here and always say, we shouldn't be there, this shouldn't happen, this should happen. And obviously I do hold that to be true from a principled standpoint. The reality is the reality, and but even with that being said, I think that it's very worth noting that we should not be there in the first place. So when you create this culture of people, and again, when you bomb the living crap, this isn't something that started with Trump. You can go look at my videos. I've been talking about this since, for 10 years, right?
We're on the same page.
Right.
We created a lot of these
But the issue with, and it's not just with like Trump, let's say, instigating or anything like that in terms of what he said with the tweet. But I do think that if we are going to work towards a more peaceful situation, let's say with ourselves in America and what's going on over there, I do think that that's not the best thing to sort of say. That's not the best thing to sort of highlight, even if I understand the war efforts and how it happens. But in the same respect,
horse has been out of the barn.
Yeah, it is. No, it absolutely
the best thing, not the best thing to say.
Right. Yeah. But on a serious note, though, like I was just talking to my fan base about the same exact thing. When I believe that Trump is going forth with this sort of idea that folks before him, not just presidents, but folks before him that have been advocates of, that creates a culture of people over there that hate people over here. And I don't think that it helps that situation by sitting here saying, look, yes, including your cultural sites, we may blow it up.
You mean
we're ready to blow
like
it
our
up.
World Trade Center?
Right. Yes. Like just like that. Just like that. But again, it is a such thing as blowback. That's a real thing. That's a legitimate thing. This isn't some sort of Ron Paul conjured up conspiracy or something like that. Again, I believe that America's government, and more so the militaristic efforts, and it's been like this for the last decade, does create a culture of individuals over there that, again, grow up. If you bomb somebody's hospital over there, you bomb somebody, just imagine, like, if I sit back and I look at it like, okay, if my mother's at so-and-so and this person of some other culture goes and bombs them, right? It's easy for me to grow up. And if I wasn't radicalized then, I might be radicalized now, considering that.
But did you hear anybody praise us for the laser targeting of what do you say? Soleimani?
No. But again, I think that's a different.
No country in the history of the world has done as much as we have.
Yeah.
And I don't want to target people.
Yeah.
I agree with you. I don't want to be over there.
Yeah.
This is the worst thing that could happen.
Right.
However, if they're targeting us and you're in a full-blown war, okay, I hope we don't get there.
Right.
But I don't even think Trump is thinking that way. Trump is a guy who says, oh, North Korea, oh yeah, you know what? 15 minutes, I might vaporize you.
Right.
He's not going to. But he plays, he's the cowboy with the twitchy eye that the other side goes, I think he's crazy enough to do that.
Yeah.
And that actually moves
The thing with Trump is I don't think it's like everything else he says that's really kind of outlandish. Is everyone listens to it? We know he didn't really mean it. Even if he did, we know that somebody would come up to him and say, "Boss, you can't really do that," and then it wouldn't happen. Happens all the time. But I want to really quick. I want to defend something that kind of a point I think you're making there is that we are really the only ones that play by the rules in that theater and all over the world. My last trip to Iraq, I was in several churches in different Christian towns that were completely vacant because they were destroyed. But the churches still stood, and that's where ISIS's main, their headquarters. It was because they knew the coalition would not target the church. We were the only ones that would do that. The Shia militias that Soleimani commanded, I went to some of their areas too. Guess where they're setting up their headquarters? They're moving into the Nineveh Plain, into those Christian villages.
Right.
They're making deals because they know that we're not going to go after them there.
I've been huge advocate on preserving. I was standing up against the Taliban when they were blowing up the Buddha statues before anybody even knew who they were. Yeah. We have to preserve these sites, but I have to tell you, there comes a point to where it's nice to hear somebody say, you know what?
Yeah.
You don't play by the rules. Guess what?
Right. And that's what I think, that two things can be true, though, you know, because, yes, I don't want to act like I'm defending anybody over there and what it is that they do. But again, I think what we're having, the conversation, for example, that we're having right now, we're kind of steering away from really what I believe, and this is why I think that this sort of act, it may jeopardize Trump going into this next upcoming election, because believe it or not, there's a big base of people that supported him because it was a refresher in terms of him being a Republican, and it was like, okay, I want out, right? And this seems diametrically opposed.
So let me ask you a question. Soleimani was responsible for the Benghazi nightmare at the consulate. He's killed all kinds of soldiers.
He's a bad person.
Bad person. We know people. You went and talked to a family where the son, Soleimani's soldiers, killed the mother and then were drilling through the son's legs just to torture him.
Demonic.
I mean, it's demonic stuff.
Absolutely.
Then Iran knows, hey, grab their embassy and because they did it in 79. They come after our embassy. What were we supposed to do?
Right. And again, that's the difficult question. But again, I think it does start from, okay, why are we there? I mean, we set up these embassies, military bases, all of these surrounding countries and so forth. And again, I think it's weird that Americans, we look at that as, oh, well, they did this to us. And I'm like, our military, in terms of what their efforts have been for the last 30-some years, has not been innocent in terms of how we treat the people, whether it be a Persian culture, Arab culture, or whatever have you. And I do think that the conversation should be had that, okay, let's get out. I understand that those are bad people over there. Those are really bad people. Right. Allies or not, I think that people are tired of that. But he ran on that. And because he ran on that, a lot of folks, even myself, though I wasn't a Trump supporter, never been a Trump supporter, and certainly I'm not going to be one. But that was one thing that even other libertarians like myself was like, he's saying it, which we, definitely going on with what Bush and what a lot of neocons go out there and say, and it's like they would bomb them to oblivion if they could, whether it be through regime change, whether it be.
So can we break this down? Because you're saying two different things. Because I used to be one of those, let's be around the world, and I didn't want to be the world's policeman, but America had you know what? We have caused so many problems, starting with Theodore Roosevelt saying, we have a responsibility. No, we don't. Right. No, we don't. We have a responsibility to be good leaders in our own country and let the rest of the world. No, nobody would build a Statue of Liberty for us today. That came from France. Yeah. Nobody would do that today because we're beating our chests and saying, you got to do it our way. Humble ourselves, stay within our borders, be friends to everybody unless they're really bad people. I mean, what we've done is we've taken our own personal responsibility and we've thrown it in the trash. Yeah. We say, oh, we really care about these people. Really? You're carrying an iPhone. No. Okay? They're putting Muslims and Christians in gulags. Yeah. You care? Well, the president should do something about it. No, the president shouldn't do anything about it. You want to do something about it? Start with your iPhone. Yeah. So there's that, which I've changed, and I think America has really changed. Yeah. They've seen this 100 years fall apart, and it doesn't work. So we want out. But now we have this transition, and he's trying to get us out.
Do you think so? Do you seriously think that that's his effort? I know what he's saying.
I do think so.
You think so?
Yeah, I've never seen, when they shot down our drone, everybody was advising him, go.
And I will say that it is good to see that after 11 and a half years, the anti-war left is back. I do want to throw that out there.
All right, we got to take a break.
Same with the Ramco.
When we come back, let's see, we've got impeachment update. Mitch McConnell apparently has enough votes to secure blocking witness testimony. Will that be what he will do? We'll come back.
Why is he even talking about this? Why, they haven't even filed the impeachment yet. They haven't even sent over the articles of impeachment. Why are they?
Jason, before we move on to impeachment, we discussed very briefly yesterday that U.S. forces were going to leave Iraq because they passed a non-binding resolution to kick them out, and there was a letter that was sent, but that didn't end up being...
Escalated kind of quickly. I think on my drive home, I was like, oops.
That's what you get for listening to mainstream media,
Well, yeah, what's crazy is, you look at it, and it's an official document, but it's missing one little thing that makes it
a signature.
Yeah, so the commanding general, actually no, it was the Secretary of Defense, I believe, said this is not worded correctly. This is not what's happening. We're not going anywhere. So then, how the heck does this get sent to anyone? Makes no sense at all to me. I can't imagine and I've worked out of similar offices in the military in other countries, and I can't even imagine how. I guess I can see them saying, hey, let's prepare as much as we can so they get all the documents ready to go in case they get a really split, the president wants this done in 24 hours, so it gets sent. That's probably what they were doing. But I can't imagine anyone in that room making the mistake of actually sending that document. There would have been no order given. That's the big thing.
Right.
You would have to get the order from the man, and if you didn't, you're not doing anything.
So can I ask you a question? I am getting so cynical. Because I think there is a real war going on inside the United States government. And that is we've always done it this way. We run the world. We're doing things. And then this Donald Trump, I'm not playing by your rules. And I can't imagine how that letter is sent unless it's somebody going, you know what, send that out. Because it'll make trouble for the administration. I think we should consider the fact that those real big government state players that want it their way internationally are doing everything they can to make it extraordinarily difficult to get out. I mean, that weakens our hand tremendously in Iran and being able to get out of that situation.
Yeah, I mean, I'm in complete agreement that I think that we should not be there. But my big problem with a lot of this is we get people promising to pull troops out. But if you don't have a plan, if you don't tell the American public, these are the goals that we want to see done before we correct the mistakes that we made in the past, no president will do that. Why? Because they want that backup. They want to be able to keep them there indefinitely if they want to. Demand a plan. Yeah. If it's a 5-step plan, 9-step plan, whatever, tell us what the plan is. When those ticks are checked off, we expect our troops to get the heck out of there.
Want to make sure we have enough time to move on to impeachment. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer said today that Democrats will force votes on witnesses at the start of the impeachment trial. Here is a little bit of what Schumer said.
On the question of witnesses and documents, Republicans may run, but they can't hide. There will be votes at the beginning on whether to call the 4 witnesses we've proposed and subpoena the documents we've identified. America and the eyes of history will be watching what my Republican colleagues do. Because if every Senate Republican votes to prevent witnesses and documents from coming before the Senate, if every Republican senator votes for a rigged trial that hides the truth, the American people will see that the Republican Senate is part of a large and awful cover-up.
Oh my gosh, these guys are amazing. It was a party line vote in the House. In fact, they lost people. They had defectors on the left coming out and going, this is ridiculous. Yep. So now he charges this. Why is anyone in the Senate even talking about this? How about they subpoena the actual impeachment articles. I mean, why are they talking about what they're going to do in the trial when they can't even get the articles of impeachment to start something?
That's a great point. Mitch McConnell apparently has the 51 votes necessary to set up the impeachment rules without Democratic support. So he wants to pass 2 resolutions. One would only deal with the rules. Then they could pass a second resolution after opening arguments that would determine which, if any, witnesses will be called. Eric?
I mean, this is interesting because and the way that Schumer is, and they're going to always set it up, is that okay, if you don't do what we want you to do, then you're a bad person. And the people will see, yeah, it's rigged. So, but, you know, if you agree with us and you do what it is that we want you to do, then everybody knows. It's very snide, it's sneaky, but this is to be expected. They don't play by this. Yeah, it is pathetic. I mean, obviously, considering what happened in the House, they can do what they can do, but the opposite side can't do what they can do. You know what I mean? Right. It's more so they do as I say, not as I do type of deal. And again, this whole deal, I just wish they would let's get things going. I'm excited. I'm antsy about it because I just want to see how more so, and this is what I will be doing, people watching, to see how not just members of Congress, but more so the public, how they view this whole situation. Is it going to change their views on Trump? Is it going to, which a lot of people are predicting, is it going to more so amplify his support? And then considering what we just talked about with the last segment, like how is this going to, from a long-term standpoint, which I hope they were trying to play the long game in terms of this impeachment process. So we'll see. I'm just excited, and I just want to get the show on the road.
I'm torn on the witnesses thing. So on one hand, I don't want them to have the Senate do the job that the House didn't want to do because they just wanted to rush this through before Christmas. Like they want Bolton up there to give whatever statement he has.
My timeline is Bolton.
And Bolton is like, they act like that's some big deal. Like Bolton's like, yeah, I'll come if I'm subpoenaed. Yeah, no kidding. The House Democrats could have done that as well if they would have went. Yeah, it could go through the courts. That's how it works. You're supposed to use all the levers in the government that you can. That's how it works. But they refuse to do that. I don't want to give them that because they were just lazy and playing theater. But on the other hand, I want the Republicans to call some witnesses. I want them to show some of the...
I want somebody in Congress, I don't care which party, that cares about the rule of law, that cares about the truth. If Donald Trump was doing things he shouldn't have done that are impeachable, I want him out. If the Democrats were doing things that were impeachable, the things that were criminal, we have a show coming up in a few weeks on money laundering that nobody is talking about. If that stuff is happening, I want them out. Is there no one that cares about the actual rule of law?
Eric says no.
No, this is all again.
That's why you said I'm waiting for the show.
Yeah, exactly, because it's a party at the end of the day. So, grab your popcorn.
Well, yeah, maybe someone should tell Chuck Schumer what's good for the goose is good for the gander. Democrats didn't want to bother calling witnesses the first time around during the investigation.
Can we bomb Chuck Schumer's
cultural sites?
Right.
I don't know. The grocery store he shops at, I don't know. But
that is fantastic.
Hey, I know yesterday I said that there was going to be this big announcement, but I lied. There's not an announcement yet.
No, you didn't lie. The guy who was supposed to make the announcement, not here today.
Yeah, he's not here. So I guess, but I'm here and he's not, and you're here and he's not, and you're here. Eric doesn't count because Eric wasn't here yesterday.
Had nothing to do with it.
So now we have to take the blame for it. We have to take the blame for it.
Our hands are clean.
Okay, so we got to wait for Stu to be back to make this announcement. I hope that he's back tomorrow.
He makes it.
Really?
Yeah. I may come and then leave right before he makes it.
Stick it to him, Glenn.
That's right. Bomb his cultural sites.
Overtime starts next. BlazeTV.com.